Welcome back, teachers. So let's us continue to walk through a few of the DBE workbook pages. And with saying that, I want you to think about what you see on the page and how you can exploit that page with a critical eye and try and develop more activities to enhance your learning in the classroom. So if you look on the right side of what you're seeing, this is an activity that's taken from the DBE Grade 2 workbook for Term 1. So they're busy counting in multiples of 5 and in 3 and so on. So what was done on the right side was just an extension to show you, to give you a foretaste of what you can do with regards to creating more activities to enhance your teaching and learning in the classroom. So if you look at the grids at the bottom, the problem solving goes without saying. That should be easy to generate. The grids at the bottom, I also want to encourage, think about how many fingers on the left hand, on the right hand, etc. Okay, how many wheels for the bicycles, for the tricycles, for the cars, etc. So just think about how you can extend learning and how that's one page. This one page in the DBE book can sustain you in your classroom, and especially in that multi-grade classrooms, for a whole week if you apply your mind. And imagine putting all your collaborating with your peers on the staff or in the PLCs, in your support groups that you have, and developing more activities so you can share, and we'll just multiply the work and the activities for the learners. Wouldn't that be smart? Take the same page, using it with mental maths, and again, extending it for the input-output, the spider sums, like some of us know it, okay? Just to see whether they can bridge that 10 and whether they can add on 3. You could add on 5, add on 6. Imagine you have templates with cards in your classroom that can last you for 10 years, for 20 years, no matter what grade you're going to teach, because you can just make that number in the center more advanced for your learners, and you can do all the basic operations. You can do it multiplication, division, subtraction the same way. There's your mental maths activities. Feast your eyes on that. I want to take you to another page in the Grade 3 workbook, Term 1. Look at that stars. Does it resonate with you? Do you recognize that stars? Because this is one of the pictures we often use to develop assessment items for the learners, just to see whether they can count and how meaningfully they can count. And in this first term, the baseline asked the Grade 3s, we'll get there later, but the end line rather was circle the 6 groups of 5 stars in the picture below. So we wanted to see whether learners knew. This was in Grade 3, Term 2 in 2021. And I circled the 25%. 25% of our learners at Grade 3 level in 2021 could count, could do 6 groups of 5 stars, and could write the division sum as well. There are so many stars in the groups, but I asked them to write the division sum. Look at the cognitive level the sum was pitched at, okay? Pitched on. And look at what the DBE workbook asks. Estimate how many stars, now count the stars. And there's a table below. But think about how else we can exploit that picture. I'll move on to that same picture that was used here in the baseline of Grade 3. 2023. Just to see whether learners can count in 5s, which they're doing in the form of a song. We all know that from Grade 1 already. Okay? So how has that counting been advanced? Could they at Grade 3 level work out how many groups of 5 and write the simple multiplication sentence? So below you see that this learner could group the 5s, but he could not do the multiplication sentence. He knew his answer had to be 20. He He opted for 40 minus 20. Correct, mathematically correct, but not what we asked for. Not what we asked for, okay? So there's your error analysis methodology that you can use. So this is what I want to encourage teachers to join up with the PLC, sit, collaborate, discuss this learner's problem, your learner's problems in your classroom. Bring it home to yourself, to your school, to your fellow colleagues, and look at all the mistakes and try and find ways of reteaching it, okay? Think about the 3 mix model: concrete, semi-concrete, abstract. Another sore point is the fact that learners cannot make the sides equal. Strange, ain't it? They cannot make the sides equal. They couldn't do this, make the sides equal with friendly numbers. 120 minus 20 is equal to 90 plus what? Make the sides equal. This starts with measurement, where we work on our scales. It's in the DBE workbook in grade 2. This was pitched at just on another cognitive level in grade 3 to establish whether learners can make the sides equal. They can do the bonds, they know. 8 plus 2 is equal to 10. But how are we extending this for our learners? Again, are we showing them the patterns, the links, the connections? I'll move on to continuing with clever counting at a grade 3 level. In the DB workbook, term 1. This is the type of apparatus one can use to supplement in the classroom, okay? But look at what you can use as well if you don't have any photocopy in 10 frames. Collect the bottle tops, it's ideal, okay? And how we can link and make the connections. This starts from the egg box, okay, with its compartments, and we use it as a 10 frame. To the bundles of 10, we start off with a 5 frame. Have a look at that. They can all count to 10, 20 to 100. There's the 100 block, your base 10 blocks, your Dean's blocks, as some of you know it as, okay? There's your 10 frames. That's very, very relevant in all classes today. And that will also support bridging the 10. Just some ways of how I would like you to have a look at this particular page and try and generate more activities for your learners to enhance your learning and teaching in the classroom. Remember what I indicated to you, learners cannot make the sides equal. These are some of the diagnostic items that was given in grade 2 and grade 3 in 2022. Have a look at that, the year 2022. And the learners couldn't do that. This is where it all starts. How well have we used the DBE resource to teach making the sides equal? How have we extended this activity? How have we provided the multiple opportunity for learners to master this? I'm encouraging the PLCs. Go and get yourself into a PLC and discuss where your learners go wrong and support one another in deriving at other approaches, other methodologies to support teaching and learning. And the conclusion for today's mediation, I cannot stress enough, we need to give our learners the opportunity to talk about their thinking, to verbalize their thoughts, to tell us how they are reasoning. And in that way you will establish whether your teaching is effective and whether learning has taken place. So that's very much part of your formal assessment. And sometimes teachers, we will be surprised that your learners are going to teach you a thing or two. We do not know everything. And they'll come up with, because in their minds they're making the patterns and you've exposed them to the patterns, the links and whatever, so they come up with patterns faster than what we can even, okay? So just be mindful of the fact that you yourself need to have that understanding before you can transfer that knowledge to the learners so that they can understand what you're trying to put across to them. And in that way, we can move mountains and extend our learners' mathematical thinking for a better, successful development in maths in the higher grades. I can't say enough. It all starts with you. How are you planning for effective quality teaching and learning? I thank you. Thanks for listening, teachers.